Welcome back to Sam's Smoke Sessions episode. What episode is it, Siththa?
Are we 15 now?
Slowly but surely, we're inching our way to 1,000.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
People are gonna have to listen to this for 20 years, dude, to get to 1,000. Imagine that.
Oh, we're gonna have generations.
Unless we start doing
Grandpa,
more than,
tell me about the Thailand stoners.
unless we start doing like more than one episode a week.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I have some plans for stuff like that.
Oh, you've made plans without me on our show?
No. I've had mental plans. I've not made plans.
So this is just mental masturbation.
Same as the clip bank.
The clit bank? Now it's a clip bank?
No, it's a clip bank. More and more of these episodes, people are going to hear my lisp come out even more and more.
The clit bank, everybody. I don't think Spotify allows that word, dude. We're going to get canceled.
They kept Rogan. We're fine.
No, they canceled some of his episodes, dude.
Well,
I'm not even gonna go there.
So today on Siam Smoke Sessions, we're not going to get cancelled.
Yeah, I'm not going. Okay, so what did you been smoking on? What have you been?
What have I been?
Smoking on.
I've been smoking on a Runts 2.0, which is basically just Runts crossed with itself. Not gonna lie, kind of disappointed because it doesn't have those Skittles terps that everyone hypes about. It's kind of more on the gelato leaning, and everyone knows that I am a massive gelato hater, so fuck y'all.
Nice.
But it's nice, it gets you high, Weed is weed.
Today I had a little primo shit.
Whoa, what?
Go.
Not on squirrel tail or oil? Who is this? Where's Bill? Get Bill on the mic now. What have you done to him?
Had some Ghost Train haze.
Oh, I saw a little bit of picture of some of that. It looked really, really nice.
Yeah. So in a Swisher Sweet blunt.
Damn, you really are. You're getting younger. What's going on?
Dude, I feel like I've just dropped like 25 years, man.
Welcome to youth again, especially with the fucking swishers. Jeez.
Yeah, youth. Welcome to it, man. So what are we going to talk about today anyway? Because right now we're just BSing.
I mean, there's a topic I wanted to talk to you about since, like, there's something that I like to admire within you, and that is your knowledge of good food. And we have a lot of discussions about good food, and I think weed and food kind of go hand in hand.
So this is like the Munchies episode.
Yeah, this is the Munchies episode, guys. Both of us are currently high and hungry.
This is the Munchies episode. Plus, I've got my my Malaysian vape here, my Buri Faifa, my electronic cigarette. My pot.
Some of our listeners are very proud that you're still alive somehow. So,
dude, I go through these like one a day now, a whole pod.
Guys, don't do what Bill does.
Yeah.
Moderation when it comes to your Malaysian e-liquids.
Yeah. So let's talk about Thai food, though. Where should we even start? Where do you even begin? I mean, let me ask you this. This is an interesting question for me because I know my answer, but I'm curious for you and any of the listeners too, because anyone who I guess is a foreigner in Thailand is going to have an answer here. What was the first thing you ate in Thailand? Like your first meal?
So this was like pre-Siam Simp era. I was just going in my I'm just going to have a year off. I'm going to go travel as a classic Brit. As I leave college. We go travel to find ourselves. And yeah, I ended up in Bangkok, and there was a restaurant next to the hotel I was staying at called Hole in the Wall. And
was this on Carson Road?
No, but fun fact, I got my first ever tattoo on Khao San Road.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my first ever tattoo on that road, but no, this was not on.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't on that said
All right,
now
keep going.
cursed law.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a place called Hole in the Wall, and I don't know what it was. I know it was some kind of hot sour soup, but my teeth vibrated. It was so hot. I never,
Hot
as a
like
British,
temperature or spicy?
spicy. Like as a
Oh.
British person who's acclimatized to Sunday dinners, and for some of the listeners, we have a delicacy over here called faggots, and it's hard to explain, but we're brought up on rubbish. Thai food was a shock to the system. Like
But don't you
sitting
guys have
there,
like Indian curries that are spicy?
we do, but it's a different level of it. I've always thought of it as like a different spice.
It is, yeah.
Indian food is hot, whereas Thai food is spicy. There's like an acidity,
It's like it's a fresher spicy. It's
yeah,
like
it punches you in
sharper.
the face.
It's sharp, yeah, it's sharper. Yeah. Indian spicy is it's kind of like yeah, it's like throughout the whole dish, but like yeah, Thai spicy is usually yeah, it's sharper. Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, and watching my mother at the time, the amount of times I had to go to a restaurant and just be like, no spicy for my goddamn poor British mother.
Okay, so all right, so this was your first Thai food. And is the restaurant still there?
I hope it is because it was a really cool place. I sadly didn't go to that end of the Bangkok when I was there. But if anyone is around the Victory Monument Way, look for a little place called the Hole in the Wall next to a fancy hotel. Pretty
Hmm.
neat spot.
Victory Monument area has good food. I like to stay in that area when I go to Bangkok. It's one of my favorite areas. I
I
like to
kind of
yeah.
regret not going there this time.
Yeah, there's an Isan restaurant that I go to around the corner. From it's actually closer to King Power, the King Power store that they have. It's I guess it's not right next to Victory Monument, but it's kind of in the area that I go to. Yeah, and then there's really good Khao Gai at Victory Monument and Guai Tiao Rua at.
You did what to a guy?
So okay, this might be a good start. Okay, well my first because I know you're not going to ask me, so I have to just tell the
I was
story.
about to ask you, but you carry on, my guy. You do you.
My first meal in Bangkok because Siththa was not going to ask me is was yentafo, um, which do you know yentafo?
What? Please elaborate in layman's
You've
terms.
probably seen it. What it
Okay.
is it's a dish with I believe they put senyai noodles in it typically, which are the wide rice noodles, like the wide.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you can order it with different noodles, but typically it's senyai. And then they put like the like fish balls that they fry, and then they put different like fish kind of like basically different fish cakes and fish balls in it, a variety of them.
Yeah.
Usually there's like
Yep.
two or three different ones. And then they put like a red, kind of a sweet and sour tomato sauce in it. So it ends up being like pink. The broth ends up being pink. And so you'll see yentafo sold all over Thailand in carts and little, it's normally a very street food type dish. You'll see them at the little hole in the wall joints and street stalls and stuff. But it's usually a solid bet if you like yentafo. If you don't like it, it's not going to be good. Now this place, it was because I had just gotten to Bangkok and I was staying by Sapan Taksin, which is down by the river, by that BTS station,
Yeah.
and I was just walking down Tanun Chorung Krung, which is the road that goes all the way to Chinatown from that area. It goes all the way up. It's cool. It's a cool road. A lot of history
Yeah.
there. And when I had just gotten to Bangkok, it was very disorienting. Like the whole experience was, you just get there, you're just like, for me, I was looking around like, where the fuck did I just land? Like, what is this place? And I don't know what I'm doing really. I had, read up on things, of course. So there was like things before I come in. So I, was looking for certain things, but I was hungry and, I didn't have any plans. And I just was walking down the street and just dipped into a little hole in the wall, little joint. And they were making yentafo. And it was pretty much just a straight yentafo shot. That's all they did. The good thing about this one, though, which does kind of distinguish it from some of them, is the quality of the fish balls and the fish cakes, because they made them there like fresh. They were like pounding them out and like making them for.
So it's not just like a cart where they've just like opening up the cart and they've automatically got fish balls and fish cakes made.
And it's all from like
who knows
bag, from a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't like cheap pre-made ones from like a bag from like Mako or whatever. They were like all like there was 3 girls like in the front by the street making them, and then you sat down on these little people know these like little wooden stools, and the tables was just like a stainless steel like table, and everything's a Thai. I just pointed at that time I couldn't read Thai, or I didn't know enough Thai to order, so I just pointed at a bowl and it came, and I really liked it. It was an interesting dish. I don't eat it as much anymore, yentafo, but when I go to Bangkok, I always try to go to this restaurant. And I can't recall what the place is called right now, but I'll try to get a little Google Map pin for people. I had a friend that said he thought they were closed during COVID, so I don't know if they closed or reopened or what. So, but yeah, that was my first experience. But
I think that's the best way to go about like your first kind of food experience in Thailand is just go somewhere and order something, just random. Just
don't think about it too much. Yeah, don't think about it too much. And don't get well. I don't know. I don't want to say don't, but like don't do like pad thai or roti or something like that. Do something adventurous. Like take a risk a little bit. You see what you find. That's always the best stuff, because it's interesting. Like when you talk to people about because everyone has like their own opinions. Like one thing about Thailand is like everyone's got foreigners especially, like everyone's got their own opinions on like what the best this is or what their favorite dish is or whatnot. But I think a lot of it is just formed on like the experiences we had when we first encountered it. Like if we initially like ate something really good at a spot, like that's gonna be our favorite spot or like favorite dish for a long time. And like we're always gonna like recommend it. And if someone doesn't have that same experience, like let's say someone fresh off the plane, out of Swampy, and you just came to Thailand, you don't have that kind of nostalgic good feeling about the food you just ate for the first time in Thailand. Like it's not gonna hit the same for people if you recommend it. They're just like, oh, it's just a restaurant, but for you it could be like really, really special. And I think that is the case for a lot of dishes. Like people will have like something for the first time, and it's kind of I think food is a special thing, because when you eat something for the first time and if it's really good, like you're gonna always remember that, and then you're gonna recommend that place, and then hopefully the recommendation goes well. Sometimes it doesn't, but that's my view at least.
Yeah, this is why I say like food and weed go in hand. They're both like a very social thing. Like, I mean, people do eat on their own, but I love especially in Thailand, going into like a restaurant or hole and wall and just kind of chit chatting and with the people there and eating. And like when I was in Chiang Mai, especially, there's a so near Wat Phra Sing, there's a hotel called Burry Gallery. And across the road from there, I can't remember the name of what it was called. It was like Up to You Kitchen or something. But me and my mum and the owner there made such good friends. Like, it was adorable. And I love the kind of Thai hospitality that comes along with food.
For sure. What did they serve? Just like kind of just straight Thai food kind of stuff, or?
We first went there because my mum wanted to try mango sticky rice, so I took her, and in there, and I was like, look, it's dope. It was awesome because like the woman there, she uses different molds for the rice, so sometimes it'll come out in like a teddy bear shape or a star. It was as well with like Thai food. There's a lot of like creativity in the display of it, which I really like. And you know, like especially when you look at English food, ours is like fucking bangers mash on a plate, whereas in Thailand it's also visually appealing, and they will do little things to like how they cut the carrots or the cucumber.
Oh
And
yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
mainly food was again, this was like my era of just pointing at things and eating it. So I could tell you roughly what I ate, but I don't know what it would be called.
But it was just like Thai food of some sort.
Yeah.
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 Okay. I think I know the place you're talking about. Because I drive by there quite frequently. So yeah, I think I know where you're talking about. So we'll get more into Thai food in a second, but we got if we're doing a Munchies episode about Thailand, we gotta cover 7-Eleven. So
The king of munchie in Thailand for
yeah, if we're doing
especially for the
Munchies,
Westerner.
well, I think for everybody. I mean, the Thais are definitely frequenting the 7-Elevens as much as anyone else, I would say.
Very true. I'm thinking of like there was, especially with the first few times I came to Thailand, there was always a few people in the hotel that were classic. Like they spent the first 3 days only eating things from
Yeah.
7-Eleven because
That's yes. And you know
the
what's
ham
funny
and
about
toasties.
you know it's okay. So let's just cut to what is your okay? If you're going to 7-Eleven, what are you picking up? Like where are you hitting up? Because like I when I go in to my regular 7-Elevens, I know exactly what I'm getting when I go in. Unless something new catches my eye, then I might take a look. But like I know, I'm not meandering about. Like I know exactly what I'm going to get. If I go to a new 7-Eleven, especially if it's a good one, if I'm like out in a new area and like it's like a nice 7-Eleven, it's like well stocked and it's like it has a lot of different variety, I will take my time. But I typically have in my mind like what I'm going to get. What are you picking up at 7?
I really the kind of staple classic obviously is the ham and cheese toasty, but the pork burgers there are really fucking good.
Which
Like
ones?
I don't eat beef. There was a few different ones. There was a spicy one. There was like a barbecue one where it was fucking lathered in barbecue sauce. Like I don't
Okay.
eat beef, so
Yeah.
these pork burgers were just to die for.
Okay.
Like, my
Did you
problem with
get
7-Eleven is
do you get like the doubles or the singles?
doubles, my guy.
Okay. Yeah, the doubles are good. Yeah, that is. I try to stay away from those, not because they're not good, but I'll eat those every day if I just wanted to just go for it. They are good.
That's my problem. We don't have 7-Elevens here, so
You
I
gotta.
indulge on the gluttony.
Okay, so in that section with like the pre-made sandwiches, you're either getting a ham and cheese toasty or the double pork barbecue burger with cheese. What else? Like what else are you picking up here?
I mean, what I also liked, some people are like confused by them, but you know the cannabis drinks that like 7-Elevens are having now.
Yeah.
There was like the original two flavors, like it was just the green flavor, and then there was I can't remember, but now there's fucking like 10 different flavors, and that shit's good. People are like, why'd you have it? It doesn't get you high. Listen, there's medicinal aspects to fucking cannabis other than getting high, and the drink's fucking nice. Like, so I grabbed some of those as well. And I've got to admit, I am a bit of a sucker for the Thai Red Bull because it is so much better than the shit we have in this country.
Mm.
I'm very Westerner when I go into 7-Eleven, sadly.
Yeah.
I look for something that's brightly coloured or, I don't know. Oh, God, don't get me started on Slurpees. When
Okay.
you can actually find a working Slurpee machine in a 7-Eleven, I'll go in about 3 times a day.
Yeah, Slurpees are good. Okay. So, and then is there any like snacks like Lay's or peanuts
I'll,
or?
I'll always go for the different kind of dried fruit, like the tamarind, dried
Okay. Yeah,
mango,
yeah, yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I love the
yeah.
dried fruit there.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to that's what I hit up. So like I'm always going to pick up dried fruit of some sort. I hit up that section. So yeah, you have macam, the tamarind, or you have mango. You have Doicom is a brand that does really really good dried fruits. They have like strawberry, mango, farang. They have little like boysenberry, mulberry dried fruits. They have
Yeah.
cherry or not cherry, cherry tomato dried fruit. They have kiwi. They have all these different varieties. And I know I'm in a good 7-Eleven if they carry Doicom brand, at least in Chiang Mai. Bangkok does also have it, but if I'm in Chiang Mai and I am in a 7 and they have the Doicom dried fruits, I know I'm in a good 7-Eleven typically. If they don't have it, I know it's going to be a 7-Eleven that doesn't have good variety typically. That's like a good indicator for me. As far as kind of savory snacks, I'll either get a bag of pistachios. Um, for a while, they had these almonds which were covered in like this chocolate powder, like cocoa powder. So they weren't super sweet. They weren't like dark, like they weren't like milk chocolate. It was just this cocoa powder dusting on the almonds. And then the one thing about 7-Eleven is whenever you find something that's like really bomb, like you're gonna get it every time, it always disappears at some point, and it's just gone
Yep.
forever.
The amount of lost oddities that 7-Eleven would have over the years is saddening. Why
It's
do they discontinue some of the greatest things?
yeah, I mean yeah, there's words for this type of thing, it's basically a graveyard. Yeah, a graveyard full of 7-Eleven products that have seen better days and are no longer here. But yeah, so I'm usually getting pistachios, I'll get almonds. I like the brand of if I want something that's a little bit I don't know, like maybe on the weekend or something, I'll get the koke. They're those like crispy peanuts. They have like the shell on them, the like a little crispy shell. Yeah, those, and they come in some interesting varieties. Like they'll have, I had one this weekend. It was shrimp, and it was really really good. I also had the coconut one, which I actually didn't like as much. I like the shrimp one better. But yeah, the original is good too. They even have shops like at like Maya Mall in Chiang Mai. They have a shop that just sells all their stuff. So they have really good stuff. In the prepared food section, I never get the prepared meals that are like that you'd eat like with a fork and spoon. I typically don't get those. Although for a while I used to get the macaroni and hot dogs, which sounds weird, but it was
no, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, yeah. I used to get that a few years ago, but I stopped getting those. I will do a toasty. This might be controversial, but I like um, the sausage cheese toasty better than the ham and cheese toasty.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
How dare thee?
Yeah, I just like because there's something about if it's crisped right, you have to get it crisped right. But if
You just like having a sausage in your mouth. It's all right, Bill. It's all right.
we've talked about this, I told you not to bring that up. I told you before the show.
Delete this. Shit, sorry. I'm sorry.
I told you not to be telling the audience about that, Siththa. Serious.
Shit. Forget about that, guys. Bill did not do anything with a sausage.
Yeah, yeah. But here's the question. Okay, drinks I always get. There's a kombucha that's decent in a can that I like, and then I always just go with Schweppes Banau. If I just like always gonna do Schweppes Banau, like pretty much anytime I go. There's a couple other drinks that are all right, but Schweppes now, and then I'll get the kombuchas too in the can. And then there's other things too, but like, let me ask you this, because this is and then we're going to get to Thai food here in a second. What do you think of, okay, you like the ham and cheese toasty. What do you think of the ham and cheese croissant toasty?
I don't like the French. I mean, no, sorry. I love the French. For me, it was always weird having a croissant with something, because in England, we usually just have like, listen, I'm not posh. Posh people have croissants with ham and shit. Okay, we have it with chocolate chips because we're poor. So I was not used to a savory croissant.
Okay. Well, it's in a toasty form though.
I'm gonna have to try it now. Next time I'm back, that's the first thing I'm gonna have. A fucking ham
some people prefer the croissant toasty, ham and cheese. Now
I'm gonna put a poll up on the Instagram. We're gonna have the classic toasty versus the croissant toasty, and we'll see what the pub prefers.
We could do a whole episode about 7-Eleven, but let's end it there, because we could talk about like some 7-Elevens now have bakeries. Like there's the 7-Eleven by my house in Chiang Mai by Kat Mejia has the bakery. They actually do fresh baked goods like upstairs. There's an actual cool. They have a chocolate croissant that is like fresh. Oh, it is very good.
This is why I have to lose weight anytime I come to Thailand.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done with 7-Eleven. Let's get to the real Thai food here, because some people, it's funny. Some people are like, why do you eat 7-Eleven? You're in Thailand. Well, if you live here, like, you can't eat like the same thing all the time. You got to, get some variety in.
Sure. I have IBS. If I just eat Thai food, I ain't gonna be leaving my room.
That was way too much information, man. We didn't need to know that.
People did need to know.
Yeah, no. We're not going to talk about that again.
Moving on.
So, all right. Let's start to talk about regional Thai food, because there's basically like 4 regions of Thai food, generally speaking, and along with language and everything else, culture and everything. So there's like North, there's Isan, the Northeast. So North is like Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, and all that. Then you've got Isan, which is a huge region in the Northeast, which is kind of like Lao-ish.
Yep.
Then you have Central, which is like Bangkok and the surrounding areas. Then you have the southern provinces. So if you had to choose one, and like there's no ifs, ands, or buts, like you're forced to choose one, and you're on a desert island, which region are you choosing?
God damn you. God fucking damn you, Bill. Listen, if anyone from my Buddhist lineage in Isan is listening, I'm sorry, but I'm picking the North. I'd have to go North, first place, Isan, second place, and then I'd have to line up Bangkok and the South together.
Okay. Interesting.
For me, I prefer northern food in Thailand. Seems to have a lot more contents, if that makes sense. There's a lot more that goes into the food, and there's a lot more of a broad spectrum with it. Like, you can go and be in like the normal. If we could talk about the khao soi debate, how a northern dish is not actually the northern dish, but I prefer northern food because there's a lot more like herbs and vegetables, and I think it's because of the whole of Thailand is tropical, but the north, as well as having the influences from like Myanmar, Burma, Cambodia and stuff from immigration up north, there's kind of a lot more diversity in the food, and I like diversity.
Okay. We're not going to get canceled now. That's for sure.
Okay, good. Whew.
Yeah, we're not going to get canceled now. So, all right. So you're going to pick northern food. So you're talking about khao soi. What other northern food do you like?
What's the jungle soup called? What's it called? Bill, you told me. Kanonjin Namgao.
Oh, that's not jungle soup.
Then what's the other? There's that, and then there's another dish that I had.
Okay,
I can't remember the name of it.
Gangpa is like jungle curry.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so this is so for people in northern Thailand, everyone that comes to northern Thailand is gonna like khao soi. Pretty much every foreigner in Thai, most people like khao soi, right? It's a popular dish for a reason. It tastes good. It likely, well, not likely, but it originated and people can look this up. It's actually not from Chiang Mai. So like it's called like Chiang Mai's like most popular dish, but it's not even from Chiang Mai. They only started making it here like 50 years ago, maybe 70 years ago. And I can find like the threads on the Pantip forum online that shows like the pictures of like people in Chiang Mai learning how to make it from like Muslim communities from Burma. The Xinhao Muslim communities had brought this dish, khao soi. And that's why typically you don't see khao soi with beef. I mean, you can find it. Or excuse me, pork. Sorry. You do find it more with beef, I should say, and chicken.
Yeah.
It does not have pork typically. You can find it with pork, but it's typically not. It's going to be at a place that's not really a khao soi place typically. A lot of khao soi places are like just they're ran by people of the Muslim background, and so yeah, you'll typically not find pork in khao soi. As opposed to something like Kanonjin Namnyao, which is more of, I'm not 100% sure on its origins, but I believe it does have some Burmese influence, but it's definitely more of a Northern Thai favorite, I would say, with people that are in Northern Thailand. Now, again, all this stuff is very contentious and people will disagree, but if you're in Chiang Mai, and you've done a little traveling, try to track down some Kanonjin Namnyao. It's basically, Kanonjin is like a kind of like a fermented rice noodle, and then it's made with like a pork bone broth, and the niao is a kind of like a flour that's dried, that's put in it. It adds like some flavor. There's other things in the dish too, but those are the two big components. Tomatoes also are in the dish, and then you of course garnish it with like fried garlic and cilantro, or what do you call cilantro in England?
I just call it cilantro. I'm sure it's got some other bloody
is
British
it coriander?
Name. Yes, that's the word. See, I'm so Americanized. I don't like saying these terrible English words.
Where do you live again?
I live in shit. Where do I live again? Is it east or north or south?
Yeah. So there's other northern. So like the classic northern Thai dishes are like, okay, let's just say khao soi. People are all familiar with that. Then you have Kanonjin Namnyao, which a lot of people are not familiar with, but it's underrated. Okay, I'm just
very underrated.
I'm calling it right here. Like I'm gonna start the fucking trend. It's underrated. Okay. Gang Hung Lei is not underrated, but it's people don't. A lot of people do. If they know it, they will get it. It's kind of a crowd pleaser. It's like basically like pork belly kind of stewed in like a ginger curry, which is delicious. And again, it's a very Burmese influenced dish. So it's like just like tender, like fatty pork stewed until it's just so soft, with like a almost like an Indian style curry, and then it would be similar to maybe like masaman type flavors, and then but it's a little different. And then there's usually ginger chopped up in the curry as well. So you got Gang Hung Lei, and then you have getting into another popular one is like Sai Ua. It's the Chiang Mai sausage. It's a very herbaceous, like you were saying before, like you like the kind of herbaceous flavors of the north, which I agree. They do have, even the lap the lap of northern style, like lap style nua, like the northern style lap is very herbaceous as opposed to Isan style, which is more sour, and it's got different things in it. It's like shallots, and we were just talking about this actually recently. Chiang Mai style is like it's like spices and herbs basically, as opposed to like the vinegar and everything else they would put in the Isan styles. It's very different. It's like two different dishes almost. The only common denominator is like it's minced pork, for example. So you got sai ua, which is a very herbaceous sausage, which people should definitely check out. But then you get like stuff like nampik ong.
Yeah.
Which is very good. It basically is served on like a platter with various like boiled vegetables and fresh vegetables like green beans and eggplant and cucumber and carrots, and then the nampik ong is it's like a tomato and minced pork kind of cooked up, and you dip everything in it. And it's very like the fresh vegetables and like the boiled vegetables in it. It's steamed vegetables. It's very, very good. So yeah, I mean, I could go on and on about northern style food, but it's northern style food just because I live in Chiang Mai is probably going to be my number one, to be honest.
Here's one thing though that I know the listeners will be interested in: insects.
Okay.
Where do you stand on insects? So, I fucking love them. I've had different types of the crickets. It's kind of cliche when you go to Khao San Road, and you see the man walking around with scorpions on a stick and shit like that. But there is actually some really nice non-kind of touristy food around insects, especially in the north. I can't remember what. I think they might be the same worms that you grow. It's a type of small worm. They grow them in like logs.
So yeah, I've been raising. In fact, just recently went to take a look at the beetles that I have, which will breed and become a worm called. The worm is called. Well, there's several names for it, but I think the most common name is duang. Duang is like worm, and then saku, which is like the type of tree bark that it kind of lives in, which it's like, or it might be coconut husk, because you get coconut husk too, but it's like the type of tree, and so they're not small. They're the opposite of small. They're big, and it's kind of hard to find these ones. They're kind of a delicacy. They sell for a very good price. So like each one is like you can sell for like 3 to 5 baht. And a kilo is like 150 baht to sell. And so yeah, like these are not small. They're pretty near the size of your thumb when they're fully grown, and they have huge red hard heads and they do bite. The worms do.
Okay, yeah. Now I know which ones you're on about.
Oh, you're familiar with them?
Do you enjoy them? Do you enjoy them?
Well, so they are very good because what you do is when we harvest them to eat, what we do is the night before you eat them, if you want a really nice delicacy, put them in a sweetened, because they're typically like grubbing around in like the like tree bark that they just eat through, basically, right? So like inside their bodies is like all of that, basically shit, right? So you want to like get that out of their system. So what you do is the night before you put them in a bowl of sweetened milk and let them eat that for a day, or like overnight, and then fry them up the next day, or you can eat them fresh. And they have a very nice creamy texture and taste, which I would say is one of the top insects in my opinion, the duang saku. And if people are interested in buying them, let me know. I can ship anywhere in Thailand. other than that, I mean, what other insects would you say are decent to eat? I only have one other pick, but I'm curious on your end.
I like crickets. Like,
Gidli. This is crickets. Gidli.
okay.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, that's really the only other one I'm gonna pick, to be honest.
Yeah, because I've had them savory and sweet, and they kind of go both ways. To me, it's just kind of crispy. It's not really like a thing.
Exactly. Yeah,
whereas
they're the most.
You talking about your worms, on the other hand, making me, oh God, sweet Jesus.
Yeah, especially when you see them alive and like how terrifying. I mean, they're like the worms from Dune. They're like a freaking whatever the Dune sandworm is called. I forget the name of the Dune worm, but yeah, Shahad or whatever they call it. I mean, the things are gnarly. Like they will bite you and it hurts, and they're huge. And yeah, but I think a more accessible insect, which is legitimate, and it's not just a touristy thing. Like people all over Thailand eat them, is crickets. And I think, yeah, those are probably the most accessible, like normal thing that you could eat. And so I will eat the bugs.
You are the Timon and Pumbaa of this podcast. You bug snacking motherfucker.
Yeah, I will eat the bugs, but I won't live in the pod. I'll eat the bugs though. But yeah, so okay. So what else? What other kind of Thai food can we talk about? All right, let's just say this. Like, and I think I'm already gonna know the answer. Probably I would say 70% of the audience, they probably are thinking the same thing when I ask this question. If you only had, I'm not even gonna say a desert island, but if you had to eat one Thai dish just for the rest of your life, what's it gonna be?
Pad Krapao.
See, everyone's gonna, yeah.
It's just so good. I could die eating that. That will be my last meal if I ever go to jail. I don't care. It's just so good, and I hate that I sound so white for saying it.
Why do you say that?
It's one of the other like classic. Once people eat Pad Krapao, especially like foreigners, they fall in love with it a lot. I think if we put a statistic out on the poll, Pad Krapao is going to be up there at least first or second.
It will be 100%, but I think for good reason, and I think it would probably be up there for Thai people too, a lot at least, maybe not all, but I think a higher percentage of. I'd be curious how that goes, but I think it kind of hits all the, it presses all the buttons basically. Like it's got all the flavors. It's like with the kapao, basil, the holy basil. You have the chilies in there. You have the spice factor. You have the fried egg, kai dao, which is, I think the star of the dish, to be honest. Like a
this
really
is where
good.
I'm going to sound controversial though, Bill. I swap out the egg for a century egg.
Oh, that's not good, dude.
No, you can't be century eggs are underrated.
No, they're not. They're not underrated.
Listen, more people need to enjoy the flavor of sucking on an old man's foot, okay?
Yeah, they're not underrated. Well, you can get, there's a, I think people are probably familiar with Huai Tung Tao Lake in Chiang Mai. And it's like a place where you can go eat and like relax for the day. I believe they serve the century egg pat kapao at that place, at like where you sit and like have lunch and stuff. I think I've gotten it once there before, if I recall right. If that was the place, it was one place where you sit on the water, and they instead of like pork or anything, they just make it with the century eggs, and that was a bad idea. I could not finish that. That's like, I'm very adventurous with food, but just visually it doesn't do it for me.
Listen, you stick to your worms and I'll stick to my old egg.
I can't believe you would swap out like a good fried egg for for that, dude. I don't know. What's the logic behind that?
I think I just really like Thai fermented food. I think
Okay.
it's just that basis flavor of, especially with the people will find it gross because I know a lot of people don't like it, but the fermented fish paste, kind of fucking nice. I know,
Right.
even just adding it to broth and stuff. I love that kind of pungent flavor.
Did you ever see it in like when it's in like the pots and it's like huge amount of it?
Yeah, I wouldn't stand too close to the pot.
Yeah. What's funny
Small
is
doses are good.
like I've never been adverse to it. Like it doesn't trigger any like adverse reaction to my taste buds or my olfactory sense at all. I've never had an issue with that. I understand some people like really can't like some people are very sensitive to it. So like they can smell it from like 50 feet away or whatever. I've never had a problem with eating it, and it's not even like a brag or anything. It's just it just doesn't have any adverse. So there's some food like it has like there's like an adverse kind of reaction to it, but you'll still eat it because there's something else about it. You know what I mean?
We've all seen a Farang's first time eating a durian.
Durian is the same for me. I've never had a adverse. I'm in love with it. It's even since day one. Like I never, and again, not a brag. It's just I never had an adversity to it. I don't know why.
See, I'm a terpologist. You're a gastronomist or whatever it's called. Like you and food just go.
Yeah, when it's durian season, I buy a lot. Like I spend probably 500 baht a day on durian, and you have different types of durian. Mongtong is like the most popular.
Mm-hmm.
You have chani, you have prung mani. There's different types. At least in Chiang Mai, we get maybe about 4 or 5 varieties at most. I understand in southern Thailand, it's more of a southern Thailand fruit. It really doesn't grow in the north, so it has to be shipped up here.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's some point I want to get down closer to Malaysia. In fact, is I think where the best are. But up in Chiang Mai, we don't get the best of the best, but we do get it shipped up, of course. But in terms of variety, there's 4 or 5 we get up here. And I spend a lot during durian season every day because it only lasts really. I mean, you can get durian all the time, like you can, but it's not the same unless it's durian season, yeah. Well, okay. So what other type fruits then on your end are like your favorites?
Oh, classic mangosteen, beautiful fruit. Then there's the longan. Longans are nice as well. God, trying to think what it is. Oh, rambutan, the furry one.
Mm-hmm.
I really like those. There was a place in Bangkok that had it was like a gelato style ice cream with rambutan syrup, and
that sounds good. That makes it. Yeah.
It was so sweet. It was beautiful. I should have made a list of all the places I got food because there was notable ones.
Yeah. That whole kind of class of fruits like the lychee, mangkut, like the mangosteen, lychee, rambutan, all those kind of class of fruits, lamyai, where it's like a kind of a soft white flesh in the inside. Those are like all my favorites. I love those when they're in season. I think one that is probably my favorite when it's really good is salak, which is like the snake fruit.
Yeah, I had that for the first time last year, and it took a while because I kept looking at it, and like even when I was holding it, I used to like have friends who'd pet snakes and I help out all the time. My God, there is a reason it's called the snake fruit.
It has like the scales. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like the way it feels as well is the same as like but
it's kind
really
of
really interesting fruit.
Well, it's a pain in the ass to peel because it's got like these little bristly things that poke into you.
Yeah. If you don't sort your nails out, guys, you're gonna get a bunch of snake scales up there.
Well, they're these little like bristly kind of like sharp. I don't know if you'd call them thorns, but they're like they stick into your skin.
It's kind of like it's literally like a snake. It's like scales.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But yeah, and it's interesting because sometimes the fruit is like more sour or more sweet. So like sometimes it's like a mixed bag, like you're not sure exactly. But the flavor is really nice. That's probably one of my favorites, I'd say. Besides, the classics like mango and pineapple and everything. That's probably one of the ones that like if I see it, it's gonna be one. Another one is for me because I like sour is taling, which I'm not sure what it is in English, but it's a very, very sour. I think they call it bimbal fruit or something like that. I'm not sure in English, but in Thai it's taling pling. And it's very, 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 very sour. They look like little, like small, little weird cucumbers, but they're kind of in like a star shape ish. But yeah, very sour. I like those a lot too.
I was gonna say it's not the same as star fruit.
No.
Fruit.
Yeah, no. This is called taling pling. They're small. They're like little small green little things, and yeah, it's not as a fully formed star like star fruit, but it's kind of like a mix between that and a cucumber. They're small. They're like smaller than your thumb.
This can lead to quite an interesting fact that I know about Thailand and starfruit in general. Did you know that certain people under lineages, when they get sakyant, one of the rules is you're not allowed to eat starfruit? And do you know why that is?
Why is that?
It looks like a vagina.
Oh.
Yep. So there's a few rules when having sakyant traditional tattoo, like you can't go under a washing line that's in use. So there's a lot of things that connotate to female genitalia related things. So if you ever see a Thai person not eating star fruit, see if he's got any sakyant on him. It's probably why.
Interesting. Okay. That's a nice little bit of trivia there. Interesting. Okay.
Not just a pretty face.
Well, you are that too.
Oh, don't flirt with me on air, Bill. Carry on.
Yeah, we'll keep that for the after hours fucking special, which we should probably release on our Patreon because it's gonna be 18 plus. We have to make sure it's 18 plus.
Yeah, none of you kids are coming onto our Patreon. I'm sorry, guys.
All right. Well, we barely scratched the surface with Munchies in Thailand. I kind of waxed too much about the stuff I like. I'm sure everyone's got their favorites, but I think what you said before was right. Like with Munchies in Thailand, it is I mean, I haven't been to every country in the world. I've barely been to any countries, but to be honest, that you can't beat living in Thailand when it comes to Munchies. Whether it's to choose your poison, whether it's 7-Eleven, whether it's street food, whether it's fine dining, whether it's straight Thai food, whether it's northern food or Isan food or fruit, or if you eat pork, if you don't eat beef or whatever. Like that's the thing. It caters to everybody, and everyone can kind of find their spot and what they like here. And it's made better with the ganj.
Spot on. I was about to say, yep. Thailand to me is a culinary hot pot. It has everything for everyone, like you just said. And I think what I'm going to do is put out a poll out. Next, I want everyone to go smoke a joint and just go to 7-Eleven. And I want to see what you guys buy while you're stoned with the munchies.
Post it on the Instagram stories. Siththa?
Yeah, whoever gets the best, like in England we call them meal deals, but ignore that. So whoever gets the best Thai meal from 7-Eleven, show
Your
us.
score, whatever score you get at 7, yeah, post it.
That's perfect. So I think we're running out of fuel here, Bill.
I think we're done.
Unless people want to hear more about 7-Eleven, but if you do, let us know.
There's going to be a part. This is going to be maybe once every 6 weeks. We'll do a Munchies episode.
Everyone's going to be hungry now after listening to this.
Yeah, when you talk about food, like, of course. So I'm sure everyone's already turned this off by now. I don't think anyone's still listening, dude.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.